Hey everybody, so recently I decided to get a GoPro action camera to do some vlogging and also for a trip that I'm going to be going on soon with my family. Along with the GoPro, I knew that I wanted a gimbal in order to get some nice smooth and cinematic shots, especially for our trip, and also an external microphone. And that's because from everything that I had read and seen online, the GoPro's internal audio was not that great, and I was able to verify that once I got the GoPro. I also wanted to make sure that these three pieces of gear fit into a nice, clean, compact rig. What I settled on, gimbal-wise, was a Zhiyun Smooth Q. It's very affordable and it can not only be used with the GoPro but also with your smartphone. I also got the Comica or Comica VM10 microphone. It's a small shotgun microphone that's very similar to the Rode Video Micro. So just to let you know, this is not a review video for any of those pieces of gear. However, I've left links in the description below so that you can see reviews from other YouTubers. Now getting back to the rig, after checking online, I saw some pretty good ideas from other YouTubers that were using this same combination or similar combination of gear. However, I wasn't completely satisfied. So this is what I came up with. Like I said earlier, what I was looking for was a compact, clean rig, and I think I've accomplished that. And more importantly, one thing, if you notice, as I turn off the gimbal, the rig is completely balanced, both horizontally and vertically as well. And that's very important so you don't put unneeded wear and tear on the motors of the gimbal. So, how did I put it together? Let me show you. For starters, you need a way to connect the external microphone to the GoPro. With the latest form factor of GoPro cameras, the Hero 5 and the Hero 6, GoPro packed so much into the camera that they apparently didn't have enough room for an analog to digital audio converter. The result is this adapter that's almost as big as the camera. This is a pretty cumbersome solution for a company that can pack so much tech into a tiny camera body. However, in the case of this rig, we can use it to our advantage. Since the Smooth Q gimbal was designed for smartphones, 1. The jaws of the gimbal are not narrow enough to clamp the GoPro. 2. The GoPro is too light to properly balance. The microphone adapter helps solve these two issues. You'll first need to remove the side door from the GoPro. This will give you access to the USB port, where you'll plug in the adapter. Ultimately, the adapter will sit on top of the camera, taking up the needed space that will allow for the gimbal to properly clamp the camera. Now, the adapter's cable is rather stiff, and in this orientation can put undue strain on the USB-C port and on the connector. You can solve this issue by using an ordinary cable tie wire. What you'll do is take and wrap the cable tie just below the elbow that has formed in the cable. Once you tighten the cable tie, it will reduce the strain on the USB-C connector and also create a neater appearance. You can then tuck or snip off the excess wire tie. Next, I needed a way to mount the microphone to the gimbal. Most other solutions that I've seen mount the microphone on the handle. However, once you connect the cable from the camera to the microphone, the cable can impede the movement of the gimbal, it can cause balance issues, and make the motors work harder. So I knew that I wanted to somehow mount the mic to the upper part of the gimbal. I ended up making a bracket for this. I used a cheap putty knife or spatula for this. These are normally made of a flexible but sturdy plastic or nylon material, making it easy to cut with a utility blade and to bend to a right angle. I cut out a rectangular piece from the center of the spatula that measures about 3 inches by ½ inch. Now, the Smooth Q allows you to loosen a bolt on the back of the clamp in order to change its orientation. We'll be using this bolt to attach the bracket. Using a drill, I created a notch to fit over the shaft of the bolt, and also a hole for mounting the mic with a 1/4 inch screw. In my case, I'm using a nylon spacer with the screw because the screw that I had is a little too long. Depending on the length of your screw, you may or may not need spacers or washers for a proper fit. You'll see that my bracket has 2 notches. That's only because I was experimenting in order to get the bracket into the position that I wanted. In this case, I found that a notch 1 inch from where the bracket bends was perfect. All that's left is to put everything together and balance the gimbal. In this configuration, you won't have access to the screen on the back of the GoPro, but you can wirelessly connect the GoPro to a smartphone to have access to its controls and to monitor what you're filming. So one last step that you may want to take is to make a second bracket for attaching a smartphone mount to the handle of the Smooth Q. A second putty knife can be used for this. Cut the spatula to the length that you desire, and with some properly spaced holes, you can mount it to the tripod screw hole located at the bottom of the gimbal. So that's it. That's my rig. The GoPro Hero 6, the Zhiyun Smooth Q gimbal, and the Comica VM10 microphone, all in a clean, compact rig. I hope this video has been helpful. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. I plan to upload another video very soon showing the other gear that I'm taking on our trip. Until then, thanks for watching.